Hello everyone. Welcome to the start of the 2020-2021 school year. My name is Sean Lynch and I'm principal at Walsh Jesuit High School. We hope that you've had a wonderful summer and we pray that you and your families remain healthy. And while we look forward to welcoming back old faces, we also look to welcoming new faces when we start school next week. Now, this year will be different. And we know from our school building and the new policies and procedures that we've put in place that the school will look different this year. Many of you have already read through our school's reopening plan, and if you haven't done so, I'd encourage you to do that. But we thought it might be a good idea to show you how the school might look a little bit different since the last time that we gathered together as a community. So let's go check out some of what is new at Walsh Jesuit for this year. The first change you'll notice is that our arrival and departure procedures will look a little bit different. While student drivers will still enter the north student parking lot entrance, or the main entrance, all parent drivers and buses will enter the school's campus via the south entrance across from Wyoga Lake Apartments. Parents and buses who are dropping off or picking up students will do so at door 10 by the back parking lot or by door 19 near the freshman hallway. Student drivers will continue to park in the upper or lower student parking lot and use the Commons door entrance or the Rotunda door entrance. All cars and buses will exit the main entrance of the campus onto Wyoga Lake Road. We ask that, if possible, parents and students delay their arrival until at least 7:30 a.m. The reason for this is we don't want large groups of students congregating in common spaces before the school day. Beginning at 7:30 a.m. each school day, all hallways will be open and students will be directed to report to their first period classrooms. Students, if you don't want to hang out in your classrooms before school, don't arrive too early. Now let's head into the school building. Oh, one more thing, I almost forgot. This year, anytime we are in the school building, with the exception of when we're seated at lunch tables during lunch periods ready to eat, we must be all wearing a mask. So from the time you exit your cars before school until the time you return to your cars at the end of the school day, everybody should be wearing properly their masks. Now we're ready. Masks must be made of cloth and comprised of multiple layers of fabric. They must fit snugly, yet allow for breathing without restriction. They must cover the nose, mouth, and chin. This will not work. This is not acceptable. It must cover the nose, mouth, and the chin at all times. Masks must be secured behind the head or with ear loops or ties. Lastly, masks must be appropriate for school. Masks must be free of political messaging. They must be free of distracting or outlandish styles and in keeping with the teachings of the Catholic Church. Any decisions on questionable masks will be decided by the Dean of Students. Gaiters, masks made from bandanas, or masks with an exhaust port are not permitted. As you enter the school with an appropriate mask through one of the 4 entrance points, you'll be met by a faculty or staff member who will direct you to answer some wellness screening questions and then take your temperature. If you are able to answer no to each question, and if your temperature is below 100 degrees, you will be permitted to continue into the school building. Once you pass the screening tables, you will proceed directly to your first period classroom. A large focus of our campus's reopening has to do with minimizing the possible spread of the COVID-19 virus by maintaining social distancing. In an effort to decrease contamination, minimize the touching of surfaces, and reduce stoppage and backup in the hallways, one thing that you will notice is that all hallway doors, stairwell doors, and classroom doors will be propped open throughout the school day. Further, most hallways and stairwells will be unidirectional. Students must follow these directional markings. This social distancing carries over into the classroom. Each classroom has been reconfigured to allow for maximum social distancing. Desks in all classrooms will be spaced between 3 and 6 feet from the nearest desk, and students will have assigned seats for each class to help identify at-risk students in the event that contact tracing procedures become necessary. One of the large changes this year is that Walsh Jesuit has made it possible for students who either do not feel comfortable coming to school or who are unable to come to school due to illness or quarantining measures to participate via remote or distance learning. Each classroom is equipped with one of these, an iPad utilized solely for the purpose of live streaming each class via video conferencing platform. Here's how it works. A student using the remote distance learning option will access his or her class's live stream via the teacher's bulletin board on the MyWJ class page. The teacher of the class will admit the student to the class using the secured Microsoft Teams platform. The student will then be able to participate in class, ask questions, and even participate in small group activities through this platform. Another major part of the reopening protocol is building sanitization and hygiene procedures. At the end of each class, teachers will disinfect each student desk. Our maintenance team will sanitize each table and chair in the commons at the end of each lunch period. Every 2 hours, they will completely disinfect and sanitize each bathroom. The nighttime cleaning crew will disinfect the entire school building from top to bottom at the end of each school day. Students are asked to do their part as well. When they come into the school building and before the start of each class period, students are asked to use hand sanitizer. There are hand sanitizer stations spaced throughout the school and in each main office and each classroom. Students should also bring their own hand sanitizer. In addition, students are asked to thoroughly wash their hands before and after eating during the school day. A new change this year will involve classroom change procedures. Students will not initially be assigned a locker, which means that students will be carrying all of their materials with them in their book bags. The reason for this is to decrease stoppage time in the hallways. For most classes, we have online or e-textbooks available for our students that they can download on their iPads. For classes that require traditional textbooks, we have asked our teachers to instruct students to keep their textbooks at home, unless the textbooks are required for that particular day. This means students won't have to carry as much on their backs. And when we change classes, student dismissal will be staggered to limit the number of students in a hallway at the same time, which leads us to lunchtime. The Commons has been reconfigured to allow for a minimum of 6 feet of social distancing between each seat. There are only 2 seats at the end of each table, and students may not move the seats or the tables from their positions. Students may only remove their masks once they are seated to begin eating. Once students finish eating, they must put their masks back on before standing and moving throughout the Commons. Boxed lunches will be available for those who wish to purchase from A Taste of Excellence. Lunch line procedures have been created to allow for proper social distancing. In addition, there will be no cash exchanges for food items. Students must establish a food service account with the business office if they wish to purchase food. Cashless transactions will involve a student providing their account number to the food vendors. Vending machines and microwaves will not be operational this year to minimize surface touching. In addition, water fountains have been disconnected in favor of water filling stations. Students will be able to utilize an outdoor eating space when the weather permits. Adult lunch proctors will be stationed in each space to ensure social distancing. We are excited to have you back, Walsh Jesuit, and we are excited to get started. But we must remind you one more time that our ability to begin and remain in this school building is in your hands, students. The choices you make, both in school and, more importantly, out of school, will determine how this year progresses. Starting now, let's make the right choices. We are men and women for and with others. We are warriors. We will meet this challenge head on, and we will do it together. God bless you, and enjoy your final week of vacation. We'll see you soon.